They say funerals bring families together. But this one didn't. It tore them apart. The rain fell in thin, relentless sheets as mourners gathered beneath the gray sky. Black umbrellas crowded the cemetery, but no one stood close enough to feel united. Every face carried a different version of grief, some genuine, some rehearsed, some hiding something else entirely. At the center of it all lay Dr. Samuel Adebayo, respected physician, community pillar, father of 3, and a man who took a devastating secret to his grave. Or so everyone thought. The children he left behind. Ethan Adebayo stood closest to the casket. At 34, he was the kind of man people admired quietly. A surgical resident who looked perpetually tired, shoulders tense from years of responsibility. His suit was slightly wrinkled, his tie crooked, but no one could accuse him of not caring. Ethan had been the one who took his father to chemotherapy, the one who answered late-night calls, the one who postponed his own dreams to keep the family steady. And yet, as he stared down at the coffin, all he could feel was confusion. I gave everything, he thought. Why does this still feel unfinished? Behind him stood Caleb Adebayo, arms folded, jaw tight. Caleb was 2 years younger, but lived like he was 10 ahead. Designer suit, perfect haircut, a life that looked successful from the outside. He had left home early, chasing money, image, and independence. Their father had called Ethan his rock. Caleb had been called difficult, and he never forgot it. A few steps away stood their sister, Lydia Adebayo, clutching her husband's arm. Lydia was the youngest, and the most overlooked. She smiled politely at guests, nodded when condolences were offered, but her eyes darted constantly, watching, calculating, because Lydia knew something her brothers didn't. And she was terrified of when it would surface. The widow who wasn't as broken as she looked. At the front stood Margaret Adebayo, the grieving widow. She wore black elegantly, like a woman who understood appearances. Her face was composed, her tears controlled. To the outside world, she was the image of strength. But inside, she was relieved. Samuel had been sick for years, and sick men talked too much. Margaret had spent the last decade guarding the family's image and her own secrets with ruthless precision. Now, with him gone, she thought she could finally breathe. She was wrong. The will no one expected. The service ended quietly. Too quietly. People began to disperse when the family lawyer, Mr. Howard, cleared his throat. Before everyone leaves, he said carefully, Dr. Adebayo requested that his immediate family remain. There is a matter that cannot wait. Ethan frowned. Caleb scoffed. At a cemetery? Really? Margaret stiffened. Lydia's fingers tightened. This wasn't part of the plan. They gathered beneath a large oak tree as rain continued to fall. Mr. Howard opened his folder. Dr. Adebayo left a revised will, he said. Silence. Ethan's stomach dropped. A revised will? Caleb snapped. When? 6 months ago, Mr. Howard replied. During treatment. Margaret's breath caught, but she said nothing. The first crack. The estate, Mr. Howard continued, including the house, investments and savings, will be divided unevenly. Caleb laughed sharply. You've got to be kidding. Ethan, Mr. Howard said, will inherit the family home and 40% of the estate. Ethan blinked. What? Caleb turned toward him, eyes blazing. Of course you do. Caleb, Mr. Howard went on, will receive 20%. What? Caleb exploded. That's it. And Lydia, Mr. Howard said slowly, will receive 10%. Lydia's face drained of color. Margaret opened her mouth, but Mr. Howard raised a hand. The remaining 30%, he said, has been placed in a trust. Caleb laughed again, bitter. For who? Mom. Mr. Howard hesitated. For a beneficiary listed as A. Rivers. No one spoke. The name hung in the air like a gunshot. The name that changed everything. A. Rivers. Ethan repeated. Who is that? Margaret's knees nearly buckled. Caleb noticed and smiled. Well, he said slowly, eyes on his mother. You look like you've seen a ghost. Lydia swallowed hard. Mr. Howard closed the folder. Dr. Adebayo left instructions, he said, that the identity of A. Rivers would be disclosed at a later date, along with documentation. Ethan felt dizzy. What documentation? Mr. Howard met his eyes. Proof of paternity. A secret buried too shallow. The rain seemed louder now. Caleb let out a low whistle. So Dad had another child. No, Margaret said sharply. Too sharply. This is a mistake. Mr. Howard shook his head. It isn't. Ethan stared at his mother. Mom. Her lips trembled. Lydia looked away. Because Lydia had known. Elsewhere, a life on the brink. Across town, in a cramped apartment near the hospital, Ariana Rivers sat at her desk, surrounded by medical textbooks. Her eyes were red, her coffee cold, her hands shaking. She had just failed another exam. 3rd year of medical school. 2nd failure. One more, and she'd be dismissed. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. She ignored it. Then another message arrived. This is regarding your biological father. Ariana froze. Because her mother had always told her. He abandoned us because he was weak. What if that wasn't true? Back at the cemetery, Caleb leaned close to Ethan and whispered, if Dad had another kid, everything you think you earned was never really yours. And in that moment, Ethan realized something terrifying. His father's death wasn't the end of the story. It was the beginning of a war. Some truths don't explode. They bleed slowly, seeping into every corner of your life until nothing looks the same. For the Adebayo family, the bleeding had already begun. The drive home that felt like exile. No one spoke on the drive back from the cemetery. The rain blurred the windshield as Ethan gripped the steering wheel, his thoughts racing faster than the car. In the passenger seat, Margaret stared straight ahead, lips pressed tight. Lydia sat in the back, silent. Too silent. Caleb had taken his own car. He needed space. And time. Time to decide how he was going to fight this. Because he would fight it. The question that finally broke the silence. Once inside the house, the same house Ethan had inherited without asking for it, Margaret removed her coat and folded it neatly, as if routine could hold her together. Ethan couldn't wait any longer. Mom, he said carefully. Who is A. Rivers? Margaret didn't answer. Lydia closed her eyes. That told him everything. You knew, Ethan said to his sister. Didn't you? Lydia swallowed. Not everything. Margaret turned sharply. You had no right. Then you tell us, Ethan said, voice rising. Because Dad is gone, and he left us a stranger in his place. Margaret's composure finally cracked. She's not a stranger, she whispered. A marriage built on silence. Margaret sank into a chair. Her name is Ariana Rivers, she said. Ethan's heart skipped. Ariana, he repeated. How old is she? 26, Margaret replied. Lydia flinched. Ethan did the math. His father had been married. To her? He asked, stunned. No, Margaret snapped. To me. Silence slammed into the room. Caleb's voice suddenly echoed from the doorway. So Dad cheated. Margaret looked up, startled. Caleb. He laughed coldly. Guess the golden boy wasn't the only one kept in the dark. The son who never forgave. Caleb stepped inside, eyes sharp. Let me guess, he said. Long affair. Secret child. And you knew. Margaret's voice shook. I stayed. For money. Caleb asked. For my family, she snapped. Caleb scoffed. Which family? Ours, or his backup plan? Ethan felt sick. This isn't helping, he said. No, Caleb shot back. But it's honest. For once. Why Lydia knew first. Lydia finally spoke. I found out when I was in college, she admitted softly. Ethan turned to her, stunned. You never told us. I was scared, she said. Dad begged me not to. He said he'd handle it. Caleb laughed bitterly. Clearly. Across town. The daughter he never publicly claimed. Ariana Rivers sat in her apartment, phone pressed to her ear, heart pounding. Yes, she said quietly. This is Ariana. This is Mr. Howard, the voice said. I'm calling on behalf of the late Dr. Samuel Adebayo. Her knees weakened. My father. Yes, Mr. Howard said gently. He left instructions for me to contact you. Her mind reeled. He always promised, Mr. Howard continued, that one day, things would be different. Ariana closed her eyes. Promises were easy. Presence wasn't. A childhood lived on the margins. Samuel had visited Ariana growing up. Always briefly. Always discreetly. He paid tuition. He paid rent. He paid for silence. But he never attended a graduation. Never introduced her as his daughter. Never chose her publicly. Ariana had grown up learning one painful truth. Love that hides is not the same as love that stays. The pressure that nearly broke her. Medical school hadn't been Ariana's dream. It had been his. You're brilliant, he told her. You'll be a doctor like me. She tried. God, she tried. But the pressure crushed her. Every failure felt like proof she wasn't enough. Not for medicine, not for him, not for the life she'd been given. And now he was gone, leaving behind money and questions. Back at the Adebayo house, greed surfaces. That night, Caleb poured himself a drink. So when does she show up? He asked. The secret daughter. Margaret rubbed her temples. Soon. Caleb smirked. I want to meet her. Ethan frowned. Why? Because 30% of my inheritance went to someone who didn't grow up here, Caleb replied. I'd like to see what kind of person Dad thought deserved that. Lydia looked at him. Don't do this. Oh, I'm doing it, he said coldly. And I'm not stopping there. Later that night, Ariana stood outside the Adebayo house for the first time. Lights on. A life she never belonged to. Inside, Caleb watched her approach from the window and smiled, because he already knew exactly how to break her. Some reunions heal old wounds. Others tear them open, just to see who bleeds first. This one was never going to end well. The door that changed 4 lives. Ethan opened the door. And for a moment, The world tilted. Ariana Rivers stood on the porch, rain-speckled hair pulled into a loose bun, shoulders tense beneath a borrowed coat. She looked nothing like the caricature Ethan had unconsciously built in his head. No arrogance. No entitlement. Just exhaustion. And nerves. "I'm sorry," she said quickly. I wasn't sure if this was a good time." Behind Ethan, Caleb leaned against the wall, arms crossed, eyes sharp with curiosity and contempt. "Oh, it's a perfect time," Caleb said. "Come in." Ariana hesitated. Ethan stepped aside. "You can come in." She crossed the threshold. And with that single step, a secret became reality. First impressions never forget. Margaret stood stiffly near the staircase, her eyes scanning Ariana from head to toe. "You look just like him," Margaret said before she could stop herself. Ariana flinched. "I've heard that," she replied softly. Lydia approached first, offering a tentative smile. "I'm Lydia," she said. "Your sister." Ariana swallowed. "Ariana." Caleb scoffed. "So that's the name that cost me 30%. Ethan shot him a warning look. Ariana stiffened. "I didn't ask for any of this." Caleb raised an eyebrow. "None of us did." The dinner no one wanted. They sat around the dining table, the same table where holidays had once been loud and warm. Now it felt like a courtroom. Margaret poured water with trembling hands. "So," she said stiffly, "you're in medical school?" "Yes," Ariana replied. "Third year." Caleb smirked. "Guess the apple didn't fall far." Ariana looked down. "I'm struggling." That surprised Ethan. "How?" he asked gently. She hesitated. "I failed an exam. Actually, more than one." Caleb leaned back. "So Dad left part of his estate to someone who might not even finish?" Ethan slammed his hand on the table. "That's enough." Caleb smiled thinly. "Just asking questions." A marriage already cracking. While the tension simmered, Lydia sat quietly, her thoughts elsewhere. Her phone buzzed. A message from her husband, Marcus. "Running late again. Don't wait up." She stared at the screen. Marcus had been running late a lot lately. Too much. She slid the phone away, heart sinking. Because while everyone was focused on the past, Lydia's present was unraveling. The private conversation that shifted everything. Later that night, Ethan found Ariana standing alone in the hallway, staring at family photos. "That's you?" she asked, pointing to a picture of 3 smiling children. "Yeah," Ethan said. "Before things got complicated." She nodded. "They always are." He hesitated. "You don't have to stay here." She exhaled shakily. "I don't have anywhere else to go tonight." He softened. "Then you're welcome." Caleb watched from the shadows and filed that away. Caleb's real motive revealed. Later, Caleb cornered Margaret in the kitchen. "This is a mistake," he hissed. "She shouldn't be here." Margaret's voice trembled. "She's his daughter." "So am I," Caleb snapped. "And I'm the one being punished." Margaret's eyes flashed. "You punished yourself years ago when you walked away." Caleb leaned in. "Then help me fix this." Her breath caught. "Fix it how?" He smiled. "By proving she doesn't deserve what he gave her." Elsewhere, temptation finds a crack. That same night, Lydia drove home alone. Marcus wasn't there. Again. She poured a glass of wine, hands shaking. Her phone buzzed. A message From Caleb. You okay? She stared at it longer than she should have, because Caleb always noticed when she was invisible. She typed back, "Not really." And just like that, another line blurred. Ariana's lowest moment. In the guest room, Ariana stared at her laptop. An email from her medical school glared back at her. Subject: academic review required. Her chest tightened. One more failure and she'd be out. She thought of Samuel, of the pressure, of the expectations, of the life he wanted for her, and wondered if she was about to disappoint him one last time. Downstairs, Caleb sent another message, to someone else. A woman saved in his phone as L. She's here. And she's weak. A reply came almost instantly. Then it won't be hard. Upstairs, Ariana whispered into the dark, "I don't belong here." And somewhere between jealousy, greed, and silence, the first betrayal was already in motion. Some mistakes happen in moments of weakness. Others are engineered. This one was planned. The woman behind the message. The woman saved as L. In Caleb's phone was Leah Morrison. She had once been Samuel Adebayo's research assistant. Brilliant, ambitious, overlooked, and quietly resentful. Samuel had mentored her, then chosen Ethan as his protege instead. Leah never forgot that. Now she worked in academic administration at Ariana's medical school. Close to grades. Close to committees. Close to influence. Caleb knew exactly what he was doing when he called her. A suggestion wrapped as concern. They met for drinks 2 nights later. "I'm worried about my half-sister," Caleb said casually, swirling his glass. "She's not doing well." Leah raised an eyebrow. "Academically. Mentally," Caleb replied smoothly. "I'm afraid she's cracking under pressure." Leah leaned back. "Why tell me?" "Because you're in a position to help," he said. "Or protect the institution." Her lips curved slightly. Interesting choice of words. A marriage finally fractures. That same night, Lydia confronted Marcus. "You didn't come home again," she said quietly. Marcus sighed. "I told you, I'm busy." "With who?" she asked. He froze. Silence answered for him. Lydia's voice broke. "Is there someone else?" He didn't deny it. "I didn't plan for this," he said. "It just happened." She laughed hollowly. "It always does." He reached for her. She stepped back. Something in her snapped. Caleb moves in. Caleb showed up at Lydia's door the next evening with wine and sympathy. "I heard," he said softly. She didn't ask how. They sat on the couch, too close. "You deserve better," Caleb murmured. She knew what she was doing. She didn't stop. Ariana's academic collapse. At school, Ariana sat before the academic review board, hands folded tightly in her lap. "We're concerned," one professor said. "Your recent performance is inconsistent." Another chimed in. "There have also been reports questioning your professionalism." Ariana's head snapped up. "What reports?" They exchanged glances. Leah spoke calmly. "Miss Rivers, given your background and recent stressors, we think a leave of absence might be best." Ariana's throat closed. "I didn't do anything wrong." Leah smiled sympathetically. "Sometimes perception matters as much as truth." Ethan finds the pattern. Ethan noticed the timing, the pressure, the sudden scrutiny, the way Ariana seemed to be collapsing from all sides. "This isn't random," he said quietly to her one night. "Someone's pushing you." She shook her head. Why would anyone do that? He didn't answer. Because he already knew. The first confrontation. Ethan cornered Caleb in the garage. "Stay away from her," Ethan said. Caleb laughed. "From who?" "Our sister." "You're doing something," Ethan pressed. "I don't know what, but stop." Caleb stepped closer. "You always think you're the hero." Ethan's jaw tightened. "And you always prove me right." That night, Lydia woke up beside Caleb. Realization crashed down on her like a wave. Across town, Ariana received an email. Subject: Notice of dismissal pending review. And in a quiet bar, Leah raised her glass as Caleb texted. Phase 1 complete. The fall had begun. Some truths explode like gunpowder. Some lies smolder until they ignite a fire that destroys everything. For the Adebayo family, the fire was ready to spread. The discovery that shattered everything. Ethan came home early from the hospital that evening. He had been worried about Lydia, her growing distance, and the subtle tension that now ran like poison through their home. He didn't expect to find Caleb and Lydia in the living room. Wine glasses empty, too close for comfort. Time froze. What is going on?" Ethan asked, voice tight. Caleb smirked. "Relax. It's nothing your moral compass could handle." Lydia's face went pale. She opened her mouth, then closed it. Ethan's fists clenched. "Mom is upstairs. She deserves to know the truth." Caleb laughed low. "Let's not ruin the fun yet." But Ethan knew he couldn't stay silent. The widow's realization. Margaret walked down the stairs, her eyes instantly catching the tension. She had felt the shift in the household the moment Caleb and Lydia had grown too close. She had hoped she could ignore it, ignore what years of repression, grief, and envy had created. Now, the truth was staring her in the face. "Lydia." "Caleb," she began softly. "What are you doing?" Lydia stammered. "Mom, it just happened." Margaret's eyes flashed with anger and disappointment. "This family has been through hell, and you two choose betrayal?" Caleb shrugged. Betrayal or survival? The words hung in the air. Ariana's darkest hour. Across town, Ariana sat in her tiny apartment, staring at the notice of dismissal she had received from her medical school. Her hands trembled as tears rolled down her cheeks. This was it, she thought. This is the end. All the effort, all the sacrifices, wasted. Her phone buzzed. Another message from Leah. "You should take the leave. It's better for everyone involved." Ariana knew the truth. Leah and Caleb were orchestrating this. Slowly, carefully. And no one would help her, except maybe Ethan, who didn't yet know the full extent of the manipulation. The legal battle begins. Back at the Adebayo estate, Mr. Howard delivered another shock. "There's been a dispute over the trust," he said, voice grave. "Caleb and Lydia contest the allocation to Ariana." Ethan's stomach sank. "They can't do that." "They can," Mr. Howard replied. "Legally, the terms are vague enough that a court may have to decide." Margaret bit her lip. This family is destroying itself over money. Caleb's smile was thin. Money or power? Ethan's hands clenched. "It's both." Ariana's mentor appears. The next day, Ariana received a call from Dr. Helen Morgan, a senior physician she had met briefly during her rotations. "I've been following your progress," Dr. Morgan said. "I know things haven't been easy, but I see potential in you." I can help you if you let me. Ariana felt a spark, hope she hadn't felt in weeks. I don't know, she whispered. Dr. Morgan's voice was firm. You don't get to choose the storm, but you can choose how you fight it. Ariana clenched her fists. Then I fight. The first retaliation. Caleb didn't wait. He called Ethan that evening, voice smooth but dangerous. Your sister, your half-sister, she's weak. I see that clearly now. What are you going to do about it? Ethan slammed the phone down. He knew he couldn't confront Caleb directly. Not yet. But one thing was certain. Caleb had crossed a line that couldn't be ignored. A secret unveiled. That night, Margaret received a letter. It wasn't from a lawyer. It was from Samuel's former assistant, the woman who had known more about the family than anyone else. Inside, the words were chilling. Your husband's affairs were only the beginning. You don't know the full truth. Your children are not the only ones he betrayed. And the man you think you knew doesn't exist. Margaret felt her knees buckle. Everything was unraveling. The family sat down to dinner that night, but the air was thick with tension. Caleb smiled at Lydia across the table. Ariana, across town, stared at her textbooks, realizing she might fail everything. Ethan clenched his jaw, knowing he had to protect his sister before it was too late. And somewhere in the shadows, Leah typed a single message. Phase 2 begins. Some battles are won not with strength, but with strategy. Ariana was about to learn that the hardest fights sometimes make the strongest victories. Ariana refuses to be a pawn. The next morning, Ariana sat at her tiny apartment desk, surrounded by textbooks, notes, and her laptop. Her heart was heavy with betrayal, but her mind began to sharpen. They think I'm weak. They think I'll quit. She clenched her fist. They are wrong. She called Dr. Helen Morgan immediately. Dr. Morgan. I need your help, Ariana said. I've been expecting that, Dr. Morgan replied. Step 1. Regain control of your academics. Step 2. Understand your opponents. And step 3. Always keep the moral high ground. Ariana exhaled. Step 1 begins now. Ethan steps up. Meanwhile, Ethan discovered Caleb's manipulations. He had been quietly investigating the sudden academic pressures on Ariana, reaching out to her professors, cross-checking reports, and discovering inconsistencies. Caleb thought he was clever, placing Ariana under scrutiny, but Ethan found Leah's involvement documented in emails, deliberately pressuring Ariana to fail. Ethan's jaw tightened. You don't mess with family, he muttered. He sent a discreet message to Ariana. Don't fight alone. I've got your back. For the first time since the family reunion, Ariana felt a spark of hope. Lydia's moral crossroads. At home, Lydia's affair with Caleb deepened, but guilt gnawed at her. She watched Ethan and Margaret interact with Ariana from afar, seeing the strength of family bonds she was betraying. Late one night, she whispered to herself, "What am I doing?" Her phone buzzed. Another message from Caleb. Everything is going according to plan. Keep playing your part. And she realized that she wasn't playing her part. She was being played. The hidden will. Margaret finally decided it was time to investigate Samuel's estate. While cleaning out old files, she stumbled upon a sealed envelope addressed to her but marked, "Open only after my death." Inside was a document that could change everything. A second will. It revealed that Samuel had left hidden clauses, intended to protect Ariana against greedy family members, including Caleb. Margaret's hands trembled. This could save her. Ariana's first victory. Using Dr. Morgan's advice, Ariana requested a formal academic review, presenting her research, notes, and proof of unfair treatment. The review board was skeptical at first, but the evidence was clear. Leah's manipulation was exposed. Ariana was allowed to continue, with probation and oversight, but she survived. For the first time in weeks, she smiled. She had taken the first step. Caleb underestimates everyone. That evening, Caleb celebrated at a bar with his friends. "She won't recover," he said confidently. "No one can fight what I've set in motion." But he didn't know Ethan had spoken to the lawyer managing the estate, ensuring the hidden clauses would be enforced when needed. He didn't know Ariana now had Dr. Morgan as an ally. And he didn't know that Lydia was questioning her loyalty. Ariana returned home late that night. On her desk, she found an envelope. No return address. Inside. Sometimes the people who seem strongest are actually the ones who have the most to lose. Use your advantage wisely. Ariana smiled faintly. Step 2 begins tomorrow. Meanwhile, across town, Caleb scrolled through his phone, unaware that his control over the family was slipping. And Lydia, staring at the ceiling, realized she had to make a choice: betray further or reclaim herself. The battle for the Adebayo family had only just begun. Some empires collapse quietly. Others explode from within. For the Adebayo family, the explosion was imminent. Caleb's overconfidence. Caleb sat in his study, reviewing Ariana's files with a smug smile. "She's barely holding on," he muttered to himself. "One more push and she's gone for good." He didn't notice Ethan quietly walking past the door, holding a stack of legal documents from the lawyer managing Samuel's estate. Ethan's jaw tightened. "You're about to make a mistake," he whispered under his breath. Lydia's inner battle. That night, Lydia stared at the ceiling. Caleb was asleep beside her, but she couldn't sleep. Her mind replayed moments: Ethan defending Ariana, Margaret quietly supporting her, the warmth of a family that didn't judge. And then her own betrayal. A lump formed in her throat. She whispered softly, "What am I doing?" For the first time, she realized that loyalty isn't just about love, it's about values. A secret ally reveals himself. Ariana received an unexpected visitor the next morning. Dr. Morgan, who had come to her apartment with urgency in her eyes. "There's something you need to know," Dr. Morgan said. "I've been part of this family's circle more than you know. Your father, Samuel, he confided in me about you years ago. He made sure I'd protect you if anything happened." Ariana's eyes widened. You knew." Dr. Morgan nodded. "Not everything, but enough to guide you. And there's more. You have a half-brother who is willing to help you." Ariana's heart skipped. "Ethan." "Yes," Dr. Morgan said. "And he's ready. But you need to act carefully. Caleb doesn't realize how much leverage you have now." The first legal strike. That afternoon, Ethan quietly filed a motion to enforce the hidden clauses in Samuel's will. The court papers ensured that Ariana's portion of the inheritance could not be contested, even by Caleb and Lydia. When Caleb received the notice later that evening, his smug grin faltered. "What is this?" he muttered. Ethan stepped into the room. "It's called foresight." Caleb's jaw tightened. "You think this stops me?" "No," Ethan said calmly. "But it slows you down, and that's enough." A marriage teetering on collapse. Meanwhile, Lydia confronted Caleb in private. "I can't do this anymore," she said, voice trembling. Caleb laughed lightly. "Do what? Lie? Cheat? Manipulate. Betray my family. Betray myself. He stepped closer, menacingly calm. You think you have a choice? I do, Lydia said, stepping back. I choose me. Her words hung like a guillotine over him. For the first time, Caleb realized he didn't have full control anymore. Ariana's strategy. That night, Ariana opened her laptop and began writing an email to the medical school board. She attached her research documentation, evidence of Leah's interference, testimonies from professors who had observed unfair treatment. This isn't just about surviving, Ariana whispered to herself. It's about exposing the truth. Dr. Morgan smiled from the doorway. Exactly. You've learned to fight on every front. Academics, family, and self-respect. That's how you win. Caleb sat alone in the dark study, reading Ethan's legal motion. This isn't over, he muttered. Not by a long shot. Across town, Ariana stared at the send button, heart racing. One click. One moment. Everything changes. And Lydia, standing at the window, realized she was about to make the boldest choice of her life. The war for the Adebayo family had officially begun. Some battles are won with a single move. Others take patience. But for Caleb, his first real defeat had arrived, and he didn't even see it coming. Ariana hit send. The email to the medical school board went out. Her hands shook as she hit send. Within hours, the dean responded. We will review all allegations. Your documentation will be considered. Interim measures will be taken to ensure fairness. Ariana exhaled, feeling a weight lift. For the first time in weeks, she felt in control. Dr. Morgan smiled. You're not a victim anymore. You're a force. Caleb reacts and miscalculates. When Caleb read the notice from the board, his anger burned. She can't do this, he snapped at Lydia, pacing the living room. I controlled everything. She shouldn't have a chance. Lydia stood firm. Maybe controlling everything isn't the same as winning. His eyes narrowed. You're siding with her? I'm siding with my conscience, Lydia said quietly. Caleb's face darkened. For the first time, he realized his grip was slipping. The inheritance battle heats up. Meanwhile, Ethan delivered the court motion enforcing the hidden clauses of Samuel's will. This ensures your share is untouchable, Ethan explained to Ariana. Even if Caleb tries to manipulate Lydia or the trustees, legally, he has no leverage over you. Ariana's heart raced. So, he can't touch me? Not unless he finds a loophole, and we'll be watching for that, Ethan replied, voice calm but determined. Lydia chooses her side. That night, Lydia confronted Caleb again. I can't be part of this anymore, she said firmly. You've manipulated me, lied to me, and now, you've hurt your own family. Caleb laughed nervously. You'll regret this. Don't think I won't come after you. I'd rather risk that than betray my own family, Lydia said. For the first time, Caleb realized he had lost a major ally, the one person closest to him. Leah's plans start to unravel. Across town, Leah reviewed Ariana's email. Her confident smile faltered. How? She had underestimated Dr. Morgan, Ethan, and now Ariana herself. This was supposed to be a slow collapse, but Ariana was fighting back with intelligence and strategy. Leah's carefully laid plans were starting to crack like glass. A hidden ally emerges. Ethan received an unexpected call. It was Samuel's old accountant, someone who had managed the family finances and knew every hidden clause. There's something you should know, the accountant said. Caleb has been siphoning small amounts for months. It's legal gray area, but now we have proof he mismanaged trust funds. Ethan's mind raced. This could be the nail in his coffin. Yes, the accountant said, but be careful. He's dangerous when cornered. That night, Caleb sat alone in the dark study, staring at his dwindling options. Ariana was alive, fighting, and gaining allies. Lydia had chosen her side. Ethan was prepared to strike at every angle. Caleb finally muttered, "I underestimated them all." Across town, Ariana smiled at her laptop, feeling hope for the first time in months. The war had shifted. The hunter was now being hunted. And somewhere, Leah whispered into the phone, "Phase 3 begins tomorrow." Some people build empires on lies. Some people live by greed. And some discover, karma never forgets. For Caleb Adebayo, the reckoning had finally begun. Caleb's desperate retaliation. Caleb knew he had lost control. But he refused to go down quietly. He called Lydia late that night, voice smooth but cold. "You made a choice. Fine. But don't think this ends without consequences." Lydia's voice shook, but she stood firm. "I'm done being manipulated, Caleb. The consequences are yours to face." He slammed the phone down. "I'll show them, all of them, who really runs this family." Ariana rises at school. Meanwhile, Ariana presented her case to the dean and board. With Dr. Morgan by her side, she exposed Leah's manipulations, showing clear evidence of undue pressure and bias. The board members leaned forward, impressed. "This is not just academic misconduct," Dr. Morgan stated firmly. "It's harassment and abuse of authority. I recommend disciplinary action." Ariana's heart pounded. For the first time, she felt empowered rather than trapped. Lydia breaks free. The next morning, Lydia packed her things quietly. She didn't wait for Caleb to beg or manipulate her. She left a note on his desk. "I choose my life, not your control. Don't follow me." Then she walked out, leaving Caleb alone in his mansion, furious and powerless. Caleb's empire starts to crack. Ethan, using the accountant's evidence, filed a formal complaint about Caleb's financial mismanagement of the family trust. Caleb's allies began questioning him. His perfect plan started to fall apart like a house of cards. Meanwhile, Ariana's academic reputation was restored. Her professors praised her resilience. She received an email. "Congratulations. You've been recognized for outstanding performance under adversity." Her eyes welled with tears. This was the first real victory. A family secret emerges. Margaret, digging through Samuel's papers, discovered a shocking revelation. Caleb was not Samuel's biological son. A secret from decades ago revealed that Caleb's mother had an affair, and Caleb had been adopted by Samuel without knowing the truth. Margaret's hands shook as she read the documents. This changes everything. The inheritance, the family dynamics, the trust. She called Ethan immediately. This is huge," Ethan whispered. "Caleb isn't even a full Adebayo. Legally, he has no claim to some of the trust." Caleb sat in his study, furious and confused. Everything he had built, his schemes, his manipulation, his control over Lydia and Ariana, was slipping away. Outside, the wind howled like a warning. Inside, he realized that the real battle wasn't over money or power. It was over truth, loyalty, and karma. Across town, Ariana smiled at Ethan. "We're not done yet," she said. "No," Ethan agreed. "But now, We're in control. And somewhere, Leah whispered to herself, oblivious to the secrets just revealed. Phase 4 will be delicious. Some storms cleanse, some storms destroy. For the Adebayo family, the storm was here, and the tide was turning against Caleb. Caleb faces legal fire. The morning after Margaret revealed Caleb's true parentage, Ethan delivered the shocking news. Caleb's claim to the trust is legally weaker than we thought. If we proceed, the court could rule that a significant portion goes directly to Ariana. Caleb laughed bitterly, masking fear. You think this matters? Ethan's eyes were ice. I know it matters. And the law isn't your playground anymore. By mid-afternoon, the first motions were filed. Caleb, who had relied on intimidation and deceit, now had to face legal reality, and the court didn't care about his charm or manipulation. Lydia's redemption. Lydia finally met with Margaret and Ariana, ready to explain herself. I was wrong, she admitted. I let Caleb manipulate me. But I'm done hiding, and I want to make things right. Margaret nodded slowly. It's never too late to choose the right path, Lydia. Ariana smiled. We'll fight together. Not just for me, but for all of us. For the first time, Lydia felt genuine freedom, a sense of empowerment she had never experienced while under Caleb's control. Ariana steps into her power. With Ethan and Dr. Morgan's support, Ariana began actively managing her inheritance. She took control of her trust account, reinvested wisely, and set up a scholarship fund in her father's name. She wasn't just reclaiming what was hers. She was creating something meaningful for others who struggled like she did. Dr. Morgan smiled. This isn't just victory, Ariana. This is legacy. Ariana felt it. The first time in months she felt truly proud of herself. Caleb's world crumbling. Caleb, isolated and furious, tried one last manipulation. He called Lydia, attempting to lure her back. You think you're free? You'll regret leaving me. Lydia's voice was calm, but sharp. I've already found my strength. You'll never control me again. Meanwhile, legal notices began arriving at Caleb's mansion. Financial audits, court summons, evidence of mismanagement. Even his allies began distancing themselves. The first cracks were becoming deep fissures, and for the first time, Caleb was powerless. Leah's karma begins. Leah, confident and smug, received her own shock. The academic board didn't just clear Ariana, they issued a formal warning to Leah, citing harassment and bias. Her reputation in the medical school was tarnished, and her career trajectory suddenly became uncertain. For someone who thrived on control, this was her first taste of consequences. That night, the Adebayo family gathered quietly. Lydia had reclaimed her dignity. Ariana had reclaimed her future. Ethan was the unwavering protector of the family's legacy. Margaret smiled, finally at peace. And Caleb sat alone in his mansion, staring at the papers that promised his downfall. Somewhere, Leah stared at her phone, realizing her manipulations had failed. The storm was over, but the aftershocks of karma were just beginning. The family that had been torn apart by greed, betrayal, and secrets was now finding a path to redemption, unity, and justice. Some people think they are untouchable. Some think they can escape karma. Some are about to learn that no one outruns the consequences of their actions. For Caleb and Leah, that day had arrived. Caleb's ultimate downfall. Caleb sat in his office, staring at the court documents. The judge had ruled. A significant portion of Samuel's estate and trust went directly to Ariana. Caleb was barred from interfering with any family assets. Financial audits revealed mismanagement and misappropriation. He slammed the papers on the desk. This can't be real. But it was. Every scheme he had orchestrated, every lie he had told, was crumbling around him. Leah's career implodes. Leah, once confident and untouchable, received a formal notice from the school's administration. She was suspended pending investigation. Her letters of recommendation were revoked. Her reputation in the medical community was severely damaged. For the first time in her life, Leah realized her choices had consequences she couldn't manipulate away. She sat alone, staring at her reflection in the mirror. All this power. And I had nothing. Ariana's triumph. Meanwhile, Ariana stood in the boardroom, giving a presentation for a new scholarship fund in her father's name. She spoke with confidence and purpose. My father always wanted to help those who struggle to find guidance, opportunity, and support. This fund is his legacy, and a way to honor the lessons I've learned. The room erupted in applause. Dr. Morgan whispered, "This is your victory, Ariana. Not just survival, but purpose." Ariana smiled. For the first time in months, she felt truly proud of herself, knowing she had transformed betrayal into opportunity. Lydia's full transformation. Lydia, free from Caleb's manipulations, moved into her own apartment. She enrolled in new courses, pursued her passions, and reconnected with family members she had neglected. No longer a pawn in someone else's game, Lydia had become her own person, confident, independent, and empowered. Family reunited. Margaret invited Ariana and Lydia to dinner. Ethan joined as well. They shared laughter, stories, and quiet moments of relief. The house that had once been full of tension, betrayal, and greed was finally finding peace. Ariana looked around the table. "We're not perfect," she said softly, "but we survived. And now, we can grow stronger together." Caleb and Leah, facing karma. Caleb, stripped of his wealth and power, left the mansion for good. Leah's suspension and damaged reputation served as a constant reminder that manipulation and cruelty always catch up to you. The two who had thrived on greed and deceit now faced isolation, regret, and the consequences of their choices. As the sun set over the Adebayo estate, Ariana stood on the balcony, looking at the horizon. She reflected on the journey. Betrayal had tried to break her. Family secrets had threatened her. Academic pressures had tested her. And greed had almost cost everything. But she had fought, endured, and triumphed. Some lessons were harsh. Some victories were hard-earned. But in the end, truth, perseverance, and integrity always prevail. The Adebayo family was wounded, yes, but stronger, wiser, and closer than ever before. Some stories end quietly. Some end with fireworks. And some leave a legacy that echoes through generations. For the Adebayo family, this was the final chapter, and a new beginning. Ariana's new dawn. Ariana woke early, sunlight spilling across her apartment. She opened her laptop, reviewing scholarship applications for the fund she had established in her father's name. Each application told a story of struggle, resilience, and hope, stories that mirrored her own. Dr. Morgan, now a trusted mentor and friend, stood behind her. "You've done more than survive," Dr. Morgan said softly. "You've transformed pain into purpose." Ariana smiled. It wasn't easy. But every betrayal, every obstacle, it made me stronger. And I want to help others find their strength too. For the first time, she truly understood her father's legacy, and her own. Lydia's transformation. Lydia had moved out of Caleb's shadow completely. She enrolled in graduate school for business management, started a small consulting firm, and reconnected with family. She also began volunteering at a women's mentorship program, helping others learn to reclaim their independence. Sitting in her new apartment one evening, Lydia whispered to herself, "I chose myself. And that was the bravest thing I've ever done." For her, freedom wasn't just physical. It was emotional, moral, and spiritual. Ethan, protector and silent hero. Ethan remained quietly steadfast throughout the family storm. He had guided Ariana, protected the family's assets, and exposed Caleb's schemes without seeking glory. At the final family dinner, Margaret raised her glass to Ethan for always standing for what's right, even when it was hard, even when no one noticed. Ethan nodded humbly, but inside, he felt a quiet satisfaction. Justice had been served, and the family was whole again. Margaret, keeper of truth. Margaret had endured years of manipulation and secrets. With the estate resolved and the truth finally revealed, she felt a weight lift from her shoulders. She looked at Ariana and Lydia, smiling with relief. "We survived. We've grown. And we're stronger because of it." Her family had been fractured, but now it was not only healed but enlightened. Caleb, alone in consequence. Caleb, stripped of wealth, influence, and loyalty, moved to a small, isolated apartment. His attempts at control and manipulation had failed spectacularly. He was forced to face the bitter truth. Power without morality is temporary. Greed has no lasting reward. Betrayal brings solitude. For the first time in his life, he felt the crushing weight of karma. Leah. Lessons learned the hard way. Leah's medical career was in jeopardy. Friends and colleagues had abandoned her. Opportunities she had counted on were gone. She had learned the same lesson Caleb had. Selfishness, envy, and deceit come at a cost. Alone in her apartment, she stared at the city lights and whispered, "I wanted control, and lost everything. Maybe now, I can start over, if I choose to learn from my mistakes." The family reunited. At the Adebayo estate, the family gathered one final time. Ariana, confident and purposeful, now managed her father's legacy. Lydia, independent and strong, embraced her own path. Ethan, quietly proud, maintained his role as protector and guide. Margaret, wise and nurturing, ensured that truth and justice would always guide their family. They laughed, shared stories, and acknowledged the pain that had shaped them. Margaret raised a glass to resilience, to family, and to the lessons that life refuses to let us forget. The storm had passed, leaving Ariana, victorious through perseverance and integrity. Lydia, free through courage and self-respect. Caleb, punished by greed, manipulation, and lies. Leah, humbled and confronted with the consequences of envy. And a family that, despite betrayal, secrets, and dark karma, had learned to rebuild stronger, wiser, and united. Ariana looked out at the horizon, whispering softly, "Life will test us. People will betray us. But if we fight with truth, patience, and heart, we can rise above anything." And somewhere, in the shadows of the past, karma had quietly settled its debts.